This video is about the sinking of the RMS Lusitania. The RMS Lusitania was a passenger ship transporting people from areas such as New York to Liverpool. The Lusitania was hit by a torpedo from a German submarine and sunk. While that was not the main cause of America's involvement in World War I, it put Germany on thin ice with America. The Lusitania had a large impact on World War I. The Lusitania was a ship constructed in Clydebank, Scotland by John Brown and Company. The ship measured in at 787 feet long and weighed 44,060 tons. The Lusitania was on a voyage to Liverpool on May 7, 1915, carrying around 1,900 people. However, at around 2:12 p.m. during the voyage, a German U-boat submarine was in the waters and launched a torpedo at the Lusitania. From the article, Remembering the Sinking of the Lusitania, it explains, lookouts aboard the Lusitania noticed a torpedo streaking towards them. By the time, however, it was too late to act. The torpedo detonated as it hit the starboard hull. The torpedo made the ship shape like a leaf, one passenger recalled. The Lusitania sank in no more than 18 minutes, killing 1,195 people out of the 1,900 on board. One of the main things that led to Germany's suspicion of the Lusitania was that the Lusitania was carrying thousands of cases of ammunition shells, making them a potential threat to Germany. The main nation involved in the incidents were Germany, who were responsible for the event, America, because there were American passengers that died on the Lusitania, and Britain, because the Lusitania was a British ship carrying British passengers. A major contributor to the event was Germany's U-boat program. The U-boat program was a program where Germany's submarines were sent out to sea and shot down any ships that were a part of enemies along with their allies. An article written by the Imperial War Museums explains the Pacific prize rule that Germany followed. During the early days of the war, U-boats followed the prize rules, where they would surface before attacking merchant ships, allowing passengers to see the ships and escape before the ship was sunk. Germany eventually abandoned prize rules and began the campaign of unrestricted submarine warfare, partially due to Britain's introduction of Q-ships, warships disguised as merchant ships. It had an effect on many countries' trade markets, and opposing countries such as Britain tried to make deals with Germany to stop the attacking ships. However, Germany had an all-fares policy, which was a policy that meant any ship not a part of the German boat program would be shot down and sunk. An article about the Lusitania written by Aidan Longstrom states, the German embassy in Washington printed an ominous warning on the travelers in 50 American newspapers on April 22, 1915, 9 days before the Lusitania set off. The article states, notice travelers intending to embark on the Atlantic voyage are reminded that a state of war exists between Germany and her allies in Great Britain, and her allies that the zone of the war includes the waters adjacent to British Isles. In accordance from formal notice given by the Imperial German government, vessels flying the flag of Great Britain or any of her allies are liable to destruction in those waters, and that travelers sailing in the war zone on the ships of Great Britain or her allies do so at their own risk. While some people tried to deny that Lusitania was carrying ammunition, it was later proven that the boat was carrying quite a bit of ammunition. An article states, the manifest listed 1,271 cases of shrapnel shells and 4,000 cases of small arm ammunition, but stories circulated citing bales of gun, cotton, chemicals, and large ammunition on board. This knowledge of ammunition on board the Lusitania is what led Germany to attack the ship and fire the torpedo. This was also a way Germany tried to justify the sinking. The sinking of the Lusitania killed many. It only took around 18 minutes to be under the water after the blast. In an article, Effects of the Sinking by History on the Net, it presents some 1,195 of the ship's 1,900 passengers perished, including 124 of the 159 Americans on board. This added to the already growing tension between Germany and America. The sinking of the Lusitania led to Germany having a bad reputation. America was on wafer-thin ice when it came to joining the war to fight Germany. In the article, How the Sinking of the Lusitania Changed the War, written by Annette McDock, it states, the sinking of the Lusitania didn't directly cause the United States to enter the war. It did, however, fuel virulent anti-German sentiment in Britain and the United States, hindering diplomatic relations between Germany and the U.S. This was one of the leading causes of America entering the war, which is why they said they would never do, completely changing the outcome of who won the war. With America's economic and military, they were able to give a fighting chance against Germany, eventually defeating them. Without America's involvement, Germany could have taken over. The Lusitania was an important part of the events of World War I. While the Lusitania wasn't the leading reason America joined World War I, it put Germany on very thin ice and was one of the events that led to America's involvement in the war. The Lusitania sinking angered America and fueled the already growing tensions between the two companies, which pushed America closer to entering the war. This helped put people against Germany. This helped lead changing the end of World War I.